Well, it looks like I caught quite a lunker. Welcome to SETI Astro. So I never really intended on getting much exposure on this target. This was just something that I would slew the scope to for an hour or two prior to whatever object was actually going to be rising for the evening before I started imaging that. So, you know, an hour here, a couple hours there, continuously over many, many nights. I have all the dates listed in Astrobin for it, but I ended up getting over 43 hours on this, and we decided to go ahead and process it, and boy was I not disappointed. So for hydrogen, I got 46 15-minute exposures. After stacking, it was orientated this direction. I really didn't like that particular orientation, so I decided to go ahead and rotate right away and do image solver and that. So stepping through really quickly to sharpen, get rid of the stars, adjust the gradient a little, some contrast, and flipped it around. And running Hidden Light Photography's new script. If you haven't gotten it yet, I recommend trying it. So Hidden Light Photography, Astro Image Detail, it runs multi-scale median and linear transforms and kind of does all the hard breaking up the wavelet sizes and all that for you. So that's a great little tool. I might have to make a dedicated video for that, but be sure to check out his channel too. He's doing some great stuff. So that really helped boost the contrast on a lot of the local structure and stuff. And for hydrogen, you could see the whole frame. The whole frame has gas in here. And a lot of the time when people are imaging this area, they're going for the heart of the hearts, right? Malot 15, it's way up to the upper left in this image, and only sometimes you'll see the fish head really imaged or focused on, and then it's never really that deep. So I'm excited to see some really cool structures that are going to be popping out here, you know, especially around this big bright bubble that's hidden behind all that dark structure there. And then we have these really dark columns and stuff off to the left here, and just a lot of cool detail in hydrogen. I did get 64 15-minute exposures for oxygen. No surprises in images like this that the oxygen here was fairly weak and confined to the bright cores of the emission nebula. So off in the outer expanses here, it's really cool, and it's really only ionized in the hydrogen, right? Oxygen takes quite a bit more energy to ionize and cause emissions, but you can see there's definitely brightness down in that one that's obscured by these dark clouds, and kind of in the head of the fish head here as well. And then there were 63 15-minute exposures for sulfur. A lot of detail in sulfur. A lot of the time you'll find that the sulfur detail is going to be more crisp than the hydrogen detail. What I thought was really interesting is there is a lot of sulfur emission off in the lower right, which was going to add some nice reds into our image. Same with kind of these wispy structures here from that outflowing gas, and a nice sulfur bridge that's really helping connect the two parts of the nebula there. And plenty of really dark structure, right? There is some dim sulfur out in some of these other locations. So I was really excited to get all these together and see what we were working with. The first palette I always try is from Polyman Astro's 4X palette utility script. I think it just does a good job doing combinations and stuff to kind of see what your data is looking like. It does give you the more rusty, burnt orange colors instead of the deep reds. But I thought this was a pretty nice looking palette as initial palettes go. I also did just an HOO palette to see what that would look like, and you know, whether it would add much for me to bring in a colorized sulfur into this as well. I do like how the reds look in the the outer skirts of the HOO, but with similar brightnesses in the core for both oxygen and hydrogen. You really just get kind of a white effect down in the cores there. So it was very kind of monotone into a white. So overall, I wasn't feeling the HOO base either. Now this was the traditional Hubble palette, SHO. I do like the variation in color here. We could take care of greens and stuff, but we have kind of the reds from where that sulfur was coming through down in there. We have the tritone colors as the gases are flowing out of this bright emission behind these dark clouds, and you could really tell that there is something very bright behind this dark structure there, and it's like billowing it out, and it's almost like it's popping right along this seam here. And who knows, maybe in some thousands of years, this will evolve and change, and we'll have quite a bit different looking structure here as it blows that dark dust apart right there. But so I did like the variation of color through here, and then even in the walls of where the fish head are, see where that bubble of the nebulosity is. So this for sure was one I was going to use as a base and start adjusting things on, right? In order to bring out additional colors, using curves, using selective colors, and then even masking and putting in a little of the reds from the HOO in the outer skirts, taking care of some color noise. Kind of left me with this for the SHO. Now it was a matter of choosing, SHO, 4X, maybe a combination of the two. I do like how a lot of the colors here in the SHO were coming together. So yes, I decided on doing some kind of combination with the SHO and the 4X. Doing some curves adjustments, some dark structure enhancement, bringing in some of those reds from 4X, and some other final tweaks here, some local histogram equalization, and that's where I ended up here. So we have all those dark structures off to the left, lots of detail around in the fish head itself, a lot of those same rusty colors, that's super bright. Whatever is happening in there is still happening in there, and you could see the outflow of the gases. Down into the lower right, you got those nice deep reds, and even in the upper right going up into the Heart Nebula, there's lots of dark structure going up over there. For the stars, I used my narrowband RGB star combination utility to give me my RGB star colors. Now to actually screen in the stars, I didn't want the stars to be as prominent in the brighter nebulosity. So I did make kind of a little bit of a custom mask here where the bright parts of the nebulosity are going to be a little bit darker. And then I also used a star mask to bring in local areas where bright stars are and not necessarily the dim stars. So when I screen the stars back in, the cores of the bright stars are still going to be nice and bright, even down in the brighter parts of the nebulosity, but it's going to help dim some of the less prominent stars, especially in areas where I wanted the bright nebulosity to shine through. And putting all that together gave me my final FishHead Nebula here with the stars put in. I still got some of the bright stars coming through in these other areas. Just a lot of stuff to see here. Looked really cool. Again, really deep on something not a lot of people go deep on for exposures. So it's just fun to see all this nebulosity completely filling the image, where a lot of the time you just kind of see the core of the fish head and some of this bubble structure off to the right there. I did update Astrobin with my FishHead Nebula here. You can mouse over to see the starless. I thought the starless looked really good. I have all the imaging acquisition details. You can see all the various dates here, from November dates, December dates, January dates, a bunch of different kind of exposures and times, building it all out. A little bit of a write-up. Some very interesting things I thought. There's only one galaxy peeking through because there is so much nebulosity in this whole image. just one. It has a catalog designation. Beyond that designation, there's nothing about it. So I think it's always cool when we're, identifying stuff in our images that there's really just not a lot of data in the scientific literature that's telling you that you're kind of right there at the front edge of knowledge as well. I have some close-in crops. Update at my website, SETIastro.com, with the FishHead Nebula. It does have the mouse zoomable images. You can click them to download the full resolution if you want the full resolution ones as well. A link back to Astrobin and the Starless version. Well, I hope everybody's having some clear skies out there and getting some good images. I know the winter months have just a huge amount of different nebula for us to be aiming for, and coming up soon will be the start of galaxy season. So take care, everyone. Please comment, like, and subscribe.